the blockchain just get hacked? Hackers stole 1.7 million from several OpenSea users. So what happened? Did the blockchain just get hacked? OpenSea is currently claiming
take a look at this tweet from OpenSea. Phishing you're actively investing in rumors of
This is what happens when shit goes wrong. And well, trust me, a lot of things went wrong here. You know, NFTs, they were not supposed to be like that. My name is Nahiko. I'm a hacker as well as an artist. And today, we'll get to the bottom of this. Okay, NFTs, they started back in 2014. Initially, they were created just by two guys playing with the blockchain. It was more like an experiment, mad scientists in a lab. And initially, people used them to create stuff. But soon, people took over and connected with them, as well as innovated. So what exactly happened? How did it go wrong? And well, why should you care? You see, when we talk about NFTs, most of the time, we're actually talking about ERC 721s. It's a standard. Okay, so imagine you go to OpenSea and ask them to list your NFT. They're going to say, sure, but please go through a to-do list. Do you have a name for your contract? Do you have a transfer function? Do you know the owner of the NFT as well as the data inside? So if you're able to tick all those boxes and, well, many more, congratulations, because you just got yourself your very first NFT. Pretty cool, huh? Well, what's next? That's exactly a question founders of NFT projects like CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties asked themselves. They decided they wanted to push smart contracts further. As a result, the number of features in the standards themselves almost doubled in the last 5 years. You can see this mirrored in projects like Pax Merge or Mario Klingeman's Bodo, and even Aave Gotchi. They are all amazing examples of great smart contracts. They all created something new by expanding on the existing standards to bring in novelty and, well, beauty. They innovated to find new usages to a young medium, and by also showing that a new technology means new consumption ways. They explored new territories, unraveled many possibilities, and led the way to what may very well be the future of art. The future, or maybe not? It's not that simple. Let's go back to 2021. You see, lots of new people are entering the space, and with it, lots of money, of course. Sadly, also, transaction costs are rising rapidly. On top of all of that, hackers are entering the space because they're attracted to all this money. So developers are facing two major issues: transaction costs and exploits. So they have to find solutions, and they have to find them fast. Obfuscation, complexity, proxies, they're all viable solutions found by developers to secure their contracts. The issue? Well, everyone implemented them differently. And as you can see in this French roundabout, that doesn't end well. In fact, nobody really knows what your NFT does unless they read the code, which they might not even be able to do if you don't open source it. So let's go back to the OpenSea hacks. Because of all this complexity and, well, the different implementations of the standards, it's really difficult for developers to go through each exploit and understand if it's coming from OpenSea or the NFT or whatever. So imagine how difficult it is for regular users if even developers are struggling here. So the more popular NFTs became, the less people actually knew what they did. And so today, I want to show you and reveal to you one of the things you might think an NFT does, but it actually doesn't. This is the story of how I hacked NFTs. It starts back in July 2021, and as you can see, I'm working hard. Yeah, that's better. I'm working hard, and I'm doing a bug bounty on a smart contract. And there's a line of code that strikes me as weird in the standard implementation. This is the function I was looking at. It's the mint function. Basically, it's called every time someone mints a token. So there are two requirements on the top here. The first one, we don't care. But basically, the second one here, what it does is that the token is not minted if it already exists, if it has already been minted. Makes a lot of sense, right? The issue is, you see, my hacker senses started tingling because it's not a trivial thing to do. Let's look at this function. Okay, so what it does really simply is, if the owner of the token is the 0 address, then it means it doesn't exist, so it can be minted. All right, sounds cool? This was my face when I saw this. You don't see it? It's obvious. Okay, let me walk you through it. This is Punk 2317. It was minted in September 2020, and according to the contract, it would exist, right? It was then burned in July 2021 as part of an art performance by artist Robness. You should check him out. And so technically here it wouldn't exist anymore, right? Does that mean we can technically remint it? Actually, CryptoPunks don't implement the standards, but maybe you can guess which other smart contracts do. Let me rephrase. This is basically a free $200,000 just sitting here, right? Okay, so I decided I wanted to create a magic trick using that technique. I would use a platform everybody uses that acts as a neutral ground, let's say Rarible. And let me be clear, I did not write any code here. The only tools I used are tools you and I can use on the Rarible platform, minting and burning. I decided I would call this trick Vitruvian Androgyne. Okay, sit tight, focus, and we'll watch closely. You see, humans in Greek mythology used to be androgynes. They were split by Zeus to punish them for a crime they did. As a result, the two halves tried to get back together, and their longing for each other created what we know as love. I wanted to create my own androgynes, have my own creation. And so I did, like Zeus, create an androgyne, actually a Vitruvian androgyne, that's what I called it. And so to create love myself, I needed to split it in two. And so I decided to burn it, sending it to the 0 address, effectively rendering it inaccessible, right? Lost, alone, we all did that. But remember the twist, it didn't exist anymore, so it was reborn from the ashes. I was able to remint it again. And so now we had two, one living in the burn address and one in my wallet, reminted, its sibling. Each other longing for, well, the other one, recreating love. So I want to thank you all for listening to me, and one very important thing. You see, in this art piece, the art was not only the visual. In fact, in my opinion, most of the art was actually the process, the transactions of the splitting. And if you can remember only one sentence in all of this, it is the following: the token is the canvas. Thank you all for listening to me, and have a good day at NFC Lisbon.